Good morning, everybody. It's Wisdom Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2020. And this is the anniversary of the celebration of my gorgeous son Bruce's life. So I hope that you bear with me and just indulge me somewhat, because I think it ties in with wisdom. And many people might kind of resonate with this, but if you've ever had a child that you think they've been here before, an old head on young shoulders, to me that was my firstborn. He certainly seemed to be he'd that soulful look sometimes, even as a very young baby. And I wanted to use a few lines that I actually said at the celebration of his life, and it kind of summed him up. I had a collage and it had all the different photos of him, and this is a bit difficult for me, but I will use my red door, blue door. So just indulge me for a couple of seconds here. Bruce, you are darkness, you are light. You are 1,000 winds that blow. You are the diamonds in the snow. You are the sunshine in the rain. And when I walk the dog, you are the swift, uplifting rush of wind. You are the birds circling in flight, and you are the soft star shining at night. Thank you for indulging me there. Now, I noticed Sir Tom Moore, of course, this morning. He's getting a knighthood, and I loved how he promoted what I've been promoting every day is smile. Just have a smile on your face, smile with everybody. When you're wise, it removes negativity. So who wouldn't want to be wise? And we might think that intelligence and wisdom mean the same thing, but actually some people who are intelligent and they've gained knowledge, they're expert in their field, but sometimes they don't even have wisdom. I mean, wisdom doesn't come with age. As I've said earlier there, that even a child can sometimes be wiser than the adult. And I read a phrase which I thought summed this up nicely. An intelligent person will always give the right answer, whereas a wise person will ask the right question. So someone can be very bright and intelligent, but not have much wisdom. And I think it's unfortunately, I think there are people who have achieved degrees and they're brilliant at what they do. And the sad thing is that our culture certainly tends to celebrate and reward those who have university degrees, who are the cleverest researcher, the cleverest scientists, even some of the TV personalities now. So it seems that intelligence is valued above wisdom. And what we really want to achieve is having both. So all of us can be wise. People who are wise have empathy and compassion, and that comes with intelligence. They understand the complexities of each individual, themselves, others, and the world around them. When there's no empathy and compassion, intelligent people can sometimes come across as arrogant, as condescending. Remember, of course, that having empathy and compassion, it's not to be confused with being sentimental or naive. Far from it. So how do you become wise? Well, I've got some easy tips. And first one is think before you speak. And I'm sure we've all been there. You wish you could take the words back. But actually, once the words are out of your mouth, difficult to take it back. Even when you try and apologise, even if it's sincere, it might not be believed. So remember, when you want to say anything, before you say anything, please take a step back. Make sure that it is something you would be proud to say. Posting on social media or anywhere, please remember to be kind, really. Don't post up all these nasty things. In fact, I remember I've often had to say to people, and I do this myself, if you're angry and upset at, say, a social media post or an email that comes in, I say to people, yes, respond, but don't send it. So I tend to, certainly on computers, which can be very, very quick, I tend to take the recipient's address out, because then you don't send an error. So I would even say that if something has really hurt you that's come in, take time to think about it, read it, reread it, and even get someone else to review what you've written. And it's better sometimes, even if you keep what you're thinking to yourself. It doesn't serve any purpose. And I think we can misinterpret sometimes emails. And what I do is I would lift the phone and try and speak to somebody. The next tip is, don't wait to do something. Wise people don't say, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. Oh, when the kids are older, I'll do this. So when I move to a new location, when I do this. You've probably said these things yourself. And you even make up excuses. You find reasons for not acting in the present. So, but remember, there's no time like the present. Take the first step towards your goal, your vision. And I don't know if I've put mine up on the wall again, but you should have a vision board, an inspiration board, an achievement board. And I know that some people are following this. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. Absolutely fabulous this morning, particularly on this difficult day for me. So waiting to do something will only make you older. It won't make you wiser. Now the next tip is balance self-care with the care for others. Now this is a difficult one for me, and I think many people do this. We tend to want to look after others. We're always trying to make things better for others. And I've said it many times before, you need to really look after yourself first, because if you don't do that, you really don't then have the energy or sometimes even the health to look after others. So you're doing things at the expense of your own health. I think when you're looking after yourself, of course, it shouldn't be at the expense of others. And it can be difficult for many of us to forget our own needs. But we really need to look after ourselves. We don't want to negatively impact on ourselves or others. So to be wise, you need to find balance between looking after yourself and looking after others. Now, another tip, don't jump to conclusions. You tend to do this when you're upset and you're angry, and that's the very time that you should use my B. My B is the deep breathing. So this would avoid you jumping to conclusions. Remember the deep breathing in through the nose, hold, and then out. And actually it will stop you, it will hesitate. You can't do anything when you're doing and focusing on your breathing. So if you need to discuss something, it must be done when you're calm and the other person. So think before you speak, take a deep breath, and don't jump to conclusions. Once you're calm and everybody's calm, you can clearly look at all the facts so that you can be logical. And this is being wise. So that brings me to kind of logic and intuition. Take time to think. But being spontaneous can be great fun. You can do that on holiday, but for important things it can sometimes create problems. So it doesn't mean ignoring your intuition, but wise people use both. They use logic and their intuition. And of course I call myself an intuitive mentor, and people will often say to me, well, your intuition was wrong there if something wrong has happened or there's been a disaster. But actually it's not. If you look back and reflect on what happened, I bet you didn't follow your intuition. Have you ever had that sort of gut feeling, but then your head says, no, go with the head? And of course that's when a disaster maybe happens or it's been the wrong decision. Doesn't matter, because you'll learn from that wrong decision. But it still means that you didn't go with your gut. So don't ever get fazed if somebody says to you, well, your gut didn't work there. It probably you didn't follow it. The other thing another tip that wise people do is they think for themselves. They don't follow like sheep. and I've done it, everybody does it. We think, oh, that's the way to go, that's what we must do. So when everybody is doing something, don't just join in, don't join the bandwagon. I mean, we've all fallen into this trap. And I think it's a difficult time just now because people are actually, they're following because we've been told to stay in, we've been told to self-isolate, and we want to take care of ourselves, so it kind of ties in with that. But and it seems easier maybe to follow like sheep, but wise people, they will take a step back and just observe others, and they'll try and reflect, and what they will do is find credible information before they blindly follow others. And I think there's something on one of the programmes this morning on, do we blame the government, do we blame the scientists, who do we blame? I mean, we're kind of blame culture, and one of the difficult things is that there's so many myths around our health, around the immune systems, around everything. So if you can, you try and find a credible source for that. So questions that you can ask yourself is, why are others doing this? Do you want to do this? And is it advisable to do this? And of course, in this time, if people are saying we've all got to get out, but you feel you've maybe got underlying conditions and things, then you have to take a step back and think, well, I'm going to kind of look after myself just now. And of course, we don't know if we're going out, are we maybe spreading the virus to someone else? Another thing to think of is be in control of your own thoughts, feelings and actions. That's what being wise is. Don't let negativity upset you, whether it's in others or a situation. And just a wee story here. I'm wearing the Ashes into Glass earrings as well as my pendant today. And a wee story about the earrings. When I was flying back on a plane, I don't think they meant it, well, they certainly didn't mean it, but the flight attendant whipped the wires out of, I was listening to some music, and he whipped the wires out, and it caught my earring, and it flew across the aeroplane. It's tiny, as you can see, and I was really upset, because these are Bruce's ashes. So the lady next to me, they were really kind. They said, we've got to find this. I said, but it's tiny. So we called the flight attendant, who had obviously, I think he must have been in a few shifts, because he was really tired, and he said, oh, the cleaners will look for that. So sadly, I haven't ever had really an apology. I got an apology from the travel agent. They said they've tried. And somebody said, what are you doing? And I said, well, do you know what? I just now imagine that Bruce is flying around the world on this plane, going to all the places that he could have visited. So I had to kind of take a positive view of that. There was nothing I could do about it. And the Ashes into Glass, I got it renewed. I've got another one. And that stays with me all the time. So when we're surrounded by negativity, we get drawn into all these negative feelings and thoughts, we become overwhelmed. We're so overwhelmed that we really don't know what to do. So you need to find information again from a credible source before you take action. The negativity will just make you feel miserable. And even if one person is miserable in the family or in a work team, it's got the ripple effect. It'll bring everybody down. And why would you want that? It's the same with being upbeat or positive. That's got the ripple effect. It's contagious. So you can improve your overall well-being by looking at the more positive, constructive views of things. And that will improve everybody. They will feel better about themselves. Now, the next wise thing that a wise person does is they accept and respect others. Now, wise people know that they can only change themselves. They can't change others. They know they can't change others. So they accept people the way they are. Now, if you don't feel connected with someone, or you don't like them even, you maybe get that feeling I don't like them, you've got a choice. You can leave them. Or, if that's not possible, if it's somebody in the family, or somebody in the workplace, you can decide to spend less time with them. And I think in this time, I'm back to my bathroom again, but people will be negative. There's people within families more anxious than others. So what you can do is take yourself off to the bathroom and you do your affirmations again. You just say, I am calm, I feel good, and you're kind of set up for the day. If you can pass these little things on to the negative people in your workplace or family, then that would be good. Hopefully it's got the ripple effect. So, of course, sometimes when we don't like someone, just remember this, when we don't like someone or there's something about them that's annoying us, it might be that they're doing something that you actually don't like in yourself. So reflect on that, and then of course you can change your attitude. So that's, that's good as well. Another tip for wise people, when you're wise, wise people look at inner beauty. Now, they like people that look beautiful as well, don't get me wrong, but wise people are not taken in by outward beauty or even the initial charm of people. They take time to get to know people, and then they judge them on their inner self, not who they appear to be. Another wee tip, wise people have empathy and understanding of others. They don't judge, they put themselves in the shoes of others. So if people are having a bad time, they try and put themselves in that other person's situation. They try to see it from that person's point of view. This doesn't mean that they're agreeing with other people. It's just they're trying to take that other person's point of view. And I was talking yesterday about effective communication. And there's lots of communication around, but there's a lots of communication that is not effective. And effective communication only is if you FA, not the horrible word F, but focus attention, focus and attend. So if somebody's speaking to you, you should focus and attend. The same with any task you're doing, or you just go all over the place. And if you're not focusing on what someone's saying, you'll miss out or misinterpret. The next thing is that you acknowledge what they're saying, and people mistake that as for agreeing. No, acknowledging is going, nodding your head. It's just to show them that you're actually present with what they're saying. And then, of course, the bit that's often missed out is clarify. Clarify is really important. But I bet you've found yourself, someone speaking to you, you're nodding and going, yeah, no, yeah, okay, fine, and you're off. Well, and then you realise minutes later that, did I understand actually what they said? So try and take time to clarify. Is this what you mean? Or, so, and then the last step in this is to respond. Now, again, people will go, but that means agreeing. I said, no, respond doesn't mean agreeing. Respond is to say, you could say, yes, I agree with what you're saying, I can get that done. It could be, well, I've got to think about that, I'm not sure. So responding is putting control into you to say, right, I'll see what I can do about this. And then, of course, the cycle can start again, because the other person can acknowledge, and there we go. So that's your kind of 4-step process, which could end up kind of more than 4 steps. The final step, the final tip to be wise is practice training yourself to know the power of your mind. The mind is extremely powerful, more than anybody really realises. And with the power of your mind, you can control your emotions, which can be done by using my ABC and some of the other tips. When I talked earlier about Bruce, you could maybe hear my voice breaking. I don't want to sob uncontrollably when I'm speaking to you. So I use tips like my red door, blue door, and there's all sorts of things. And in my head, I'm going, I'm calm. So I've learned to practice all these things in my head. To me, if everyone in the world was wise, what a wonderful, more happy place this would be. My vision is for this, and it's a tall order, but if I can get everyone just using my ABC or these people I'm connecting with, then it's a small step towards that. So that's kind of my message for today, and I've dressed up in the dress I wore when I was celebrating Bruce's life, and I know he's up there listening to me, and I do talk about him in the present, and I think that's very important, that he's still there. So we're, I'm continue to celebrate his life every day, and I hope that helps others who have maybe gone through similar situations. And I've connected with lots of people, particularly those who've maybe lost a loved one, and it's wonderful how the ones who are able to think of them in this way and be positive, really, they've got a wonderful outlook in life, and it's absolutely fabulous. And sharing my story and others sharing with me, sharing is caring and helps healing. So I thought we would end with a meditation on the oak tree. The oak tree is strong, and if we have strength, we can maybe be wise, hopefully. And what we do again, of course, is we need to sit nice and comfortably and feet on the ground so that we're grounded. And of course, if you time when you're holiday sitting in the nature with your feet on the beach or the ground, anybody who's living near the coast, it's just wonderful to be out there in nature. And it's a sunny day, it's a beautiful sunny day today, but I'm not outside. It's still a bit cold up here in Scotland, but sit quietly. You can do these when you're lying down as well, but just let it sit, and shoulders back, and we take a deep breath in. Remember, that's the diaphragmatic breathing from the tummy. We breathe in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. Now this meditation about, it's really the meadow and the oak tree, I suppose, but it increases your confidence. It makes you flexible, you feel stronger, and it increases your self-esteem because it helps you clear negative thoughts and turn them into positive ones, and viewing everything a challenge as an opportunity to learn. So close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. Now take another deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. Now imagine yourself in the countryside. You are walking across a lovely meadow. In the distance there is a large tree, a large solid tree. The air around you is so pure. The large tree has strong branches stretching out and swaying in the light breeze. You hear the leaves rustling. You sit down on the grass and you lean against the strong tree. You rest your body and your mind. You feel the strength of the tree flowing into your body. Feel its energy flowing into your body and mind. And say to yourself, I feel strong. I feel confident. I am positive. And I feel secure. I know I can face challenges and turn them into opportunities. Now you can open your eyes and then take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then out through the mouth. And as you exhale, let all negative thoughts leave your mind, and say to yourself again, I feel positive. I feel confident. I am strong. And I hope that has been an enjoyable meditation, and I hope you're feeling stronger and more positive in mind and attitude to take the day forward. And thank you again for indulging me and allowing me to speak of my lovely son. And tomorrow, I'm not, oh, in fact, I think people are putting in suggestions for titles, and I think one, and I'm going to run with it, is Tiara Thursday. So I think we're maybe all going to award ourselves with a nice crown. We've managed to get through what's this is the Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's a bit of a passion of mine, but I really don't think mental health awareness should be for a week or a month or a year. It's every day. And if you use my sort of ABC core techniques, simple and easy to use, you will feel better. It doesn't mean, obviously, if you have serious mental health issues, you must seek medical or a professional help. But these do help just in everyday living, and they've certainly stood me in good stead. And thank you again to everybody who's been watching. And I hope we're all a bit wiser now, and we can have the ripple effect of that and have a wiser, happier world. Virtual hugs to everybody and kisses to everybody, and thank you for watching. Fabulous. It just makes my day. Thank you very much.